Welcome to the fucking Handshake Podcast.
We eventually get around to reading Homestuck and telling you about it. I super made a ton of noise on my keyboard just now, didn't I?
No, not much.
Really? Okay. There's a bunch of peanut butter wedged in between. Hang on a second. I gotta get this. Damn it.
What, the phone or the peanut butter?
Hang on. There's peanut butter in my keyboard.
Well, don't solve that now.
I have to. There's peanut butter in my keyboard. It's like staring at me.
That was a before problem.
For the next hour is staring at my keyboard, and I'm gonna die if I can't remove the because you know how when peanut butter gets in a place, then it smells like peanut butter.
It's rough and coarse, and it gets everywhere.
Oh my god! Did you pick up on that meme from Star Wars Twitter recently too, or is that old?
I mean, it's pretty old. It's from 2002.
Well, sure, I know the joke is old, but the meme, is it old?
What's the meme?
The meme is that sand is coarse and rough and irritating, and it gets everywhere.
I mean, I've read a fan theory recently that the reason, Vader never went onto Tatooine because it was sandy.
Are you fucking kidding me?
You'll have to be more specific.
On a scale from 1 to Jar Jar Binks was supposed to be the Sith Lord.
Oh no, it's totally just ad hoc, that would explain this, not that was the intention.
Yeah. Alright, I got the peanut butter out. Thank you for bearing with me. It was really bad. You know when you get peanut butter stuck in your cuticle, and then you smell your hand in passing 3 hours later, your hand goes by your face, and you're like,
How do you eat peanut butter?
With a spoon? Or off a sandwich?
How did it get in your cuticle?
It's the tiniest little bit, you can't even really see it. You wouldn't know it was there until hours later you realize your hand still smells like fucking peanut butter.
I just wash my hands a lot after every meal.
Oh, I don't.
Well, there you go.
You're so civilized. I'm sorry I'm repulsive.
No, it's okay. I low-key have had a hand-washing compulsion, whichever one it is, since I was a child.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a minor one.
Mm-hmm. Me and my door locking.
Oh,
it's
yeah?
Not a problem, but it's definitely a compulsion.
Sure.
Yeah. I've discovered hand washing recently. If my skin weren't so chronically dry, I'd be more into it. But it feels
That's a really
so good.
concerning. That's a concerning statement.
What?
I've discovered hand washing recently. That chills me to my core.
No, I mean not okay. So discovered it with fresh eyes. I always would wash my hands after you go to the bathroom and before you're gonna eat and before you cook anything. But more recently, I've started washing my hands, or after you take out the garbage. But more recently, I'll wash my hands when I get back from work, or if I've just been to the grocery store, I'll wash my hands and
Yeah, you wash your hands when you enter the house.
They feel so clean.
You don't do you wear shoes around the house?
I mean, if I'm in a hurry.
God, you Americans.
Is that a Canadian thing that you take your shoes off in the house?
Yeah, 100%.
I guess it makes sense because you're tracking fucking ice in 8 months out of the year. So
yeah, but we do it in the summer too, because of course
you're in the habit.
Because we're civilized.
Oh my god!
You don't outside is dirt. Why would you have that in the living room?
That's what your vacuum's for.
Well, then we have to vacuum 3 times as infrequently as you.
Or I just let my floor get really repulsive. It's basically once I can't stand how dirty my own feet get walking around my house. It takes a week of being stepping in dirt in my kitchen and being fuck, before I will vacuum. I'm a busy lady.
I can't handle this.
Let's talk about Homestuck.
Welcome to the Hamsteak Podcast. It's the podcast where we read Homestuck and tell you about it. My name's Alex, and I haven't read Homestuck before.
My name's Lydia, and I super have. And this week, we are talking about pages... Ooh, I didn't look them up ahead of time.
5140.
Drew 5220. I
There
knew
you
the
go.
second one. It is 5220, right?
Yep.
Nice.
I
Okay.
just scrolled down to the bottom and saw that as you
Oh,
said it. Nice.
nice. Oh,
Nice,
hello,
nice,
Phoebe.
nice.
Hi. Oh, don't be clicking on my keyboard, please.
Oh,
Phoebe.
she wrote a lot of exclamation points.
Up at the top?
Yeah.
I thought you typed those.
No, that was Phoebe.
No shot. Seriously? Wait.
Yeah,
I just Control Z'd and it didn't do that. You must have made the exclamation points yourself and you just don't
I
remember.
did not. I did not. Nope. My Control Z is space at the top. Or an enter at the top. Line break.
Oh.
Phoebe is contributing. I just like half committed to contributing and half committed to contributing. I don't know if you caught that.
You sort of achieved this, like... I don't know.
Contributing.
Yeah, Japanese style, like, completely equal emphasis on all syllables.
In the Japanese style.
Well, like, that's how Japanese is pronounced. Like, you don't... There's no notion of, like, syllabic emphasis except for, like, long vowels, which are their own phoneme.
Ah.
Yeah. How do you not know this?
I don't know.
Not a good enough anime. I don't know if I can do this with someone who's not a good anime.
Listen, I try my hardest at anime.
Alright, that's good enough for me.
I'll list off all the Japanese I know.
Oh god. Please don't. Let's talk about Jade Sprite. let's talk about Jade Sprite, who is not exactly an anime, but certainly, like, unlikely. She's an improbable character.
Yeah, so... Okay, alright. Sorry, I'm trying to get in the... Man, this is a weird podcast.
What,
Can you guys tell it's a Hamsteak After Dark?
It's a ham after dark. I'm imbibing. Life is good.
Oh, you have your beer?
Yeah.
Maybe I should get a drink.
It's PBR, so it's like basically water, but I think the placebo
Public
effect-
broadcasting.
Huh?
Oh, God. I just got sad about public broadcasting.
Oh yeah, isn't Trump cutting public radio?
Everything good.
All the public everything?
All the public goods. Let's not. For now, let's try to not think about the world outside of Andrew Hussey's twisted mind for an hour.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good.
Andrew Hussey's twisted mind. Is that the episode title? Welcome to Andrew Hussey's twisted mind. I gotta make that work somehow.
We'll workshop it. So Jade Sprite, if you guys didn't remember from the eternity ago that we did our last episode, is an abomination and a thing which should not be, as far as she is concerned, because Jade Sprite is Jade's long dead dream self, who had been taxidermied and left up in her attic, who she recently just self-prototyped by chucking into a sprite that was already prototyped with Becquerel. So she's now part radioactive first guardian dog.
I mean, she essentially like overwrote Beck.
Yeah,
like that RAM is gone.
It
Beck
seems
is,
that way.
I mean, there's certainly elements of Beck still left in Jade Sprite.
She has dog ears and occasionally says woof in the way that Aradia sometimes ribbits.
Yeah. And her crying is like a howl, like a wolf howl.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Jade's is the same.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this is so something that I've come across is Jade with ears and a tail. And I was never aware of how that came to be until now.
It's true.
So that's one mystery solved.
Mystery solved. Yeah, I love back solving all of Alex's accidental Homestuck spoilers.
Oh god. Oh god.
What?
A bad one happened today.
Oh.
Have you heard the oh god. Have you heard? I'm trying to remember. Oh my god, I'm blanking on the word. For juggalos. I was trying to not say jabronis.
Okay.
The juggalos are marching on Washington,
Yeah.
which is just a lot to take in. But someone's commentary on that was like, see Hitler's water apocalypse. And I'm just like,
Oh.
all right, well that flavors something.
That's a good one. That's real cryptic. You definitely have no context for that yet.
Well, I've also heard that Gamzee is awful, and I mean, I can just infer, but I can infer like a structure but not the substance.
We are less than halfway done with this comic. You know that, right?
Yeah, but I feel like everything important happens in the first half.
We shall see. I think that's a qualitative question that we could have a
Absolutely.
spirited debate about.
That was the intention.
Okay. We'll see if that hypothesis holds up. So Jade Sprite is wigging out because she can't stop seeing the green sun, which I think would probably be disturbing to anyone.
Yeah.
Also, she was dead for a super long time.
She says, it's overwhelming and awful. It's way too big and bright, and I can't stop seeing it. Which sucks.
Yeah.
I would hate to have a sun glaring in my eyes that is twice the mass of the universe.
Yeah, that's some sort of irrational cosmic scale for you. Like, it kind of makes sense why she's so traumatized. Ooh, did you hear that squeaking noise?
Vaguely.
You think it needs to be, like,
No.
made to stop?
What is it?
It's a cat toy.
In that case, it's perfect.
Okay. I'll just leave it then.
Yeah. By the way, when cat names Phoebe from Friends, can I request that be an epithet for Phoebe?
Oh, sure. She
It's like
accumulates them.
like Phoebe from Friends, Pizzulo.
She's
Yeah.
Phoebe from Friends. She's Queen Peebs.
Queen Peebs.
That's really the only two. Peanut Butter Cat, also.
Peanut butter jelly cat.
Is that a thing?
Peanut butter jelly time.
It is. But it was a little while ago, and that's why there's peanut butter in my keyboard.
Good grief. We're on like the third page.
Yeah?
That's just funny to me.
Have fun editing.
This all stays in.
It's short. This is a short one.
This is gold. We're in a weird mood.
Pyrite, maybe.
I don't feel self-conscious about being loud in my apartment.
Is that new for you?
It's exclusive to the After Darks.
Oh. Great. The only time you feel okay about making noise in your apartment is
At night.
Yeah. Good.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
So Jade, alive Jade, tries to snap Jade Sprite out of this. She gets frustrated at her dream self's ditziness, which she had heard about secondhand before, but now is experiencing.
Right, particularly in the form of just inconsolable sobbing, stuff like she keeps insisting that John is dead, and she's like, you saw that John was alive. Like, you saw it. You might have forgotten it, but he was alive. And I'm telling you right now, I've told you like 3 different times now, he's still alive. And she's like, can't process it. Because remember, she's been... So, there's some weird timeline stuff happening, but this Dream Jade has been dead. You know, Dream Jade died recently, but this Dream Jade, because Paradox Space, has been dead, like, some unspecified number of years. And, like, had a whole life out in the dream bubbles. And so, this is sort of horrifying for her.
Okay, I was actually not clear on whether it was her Dream Jade in the dream bubbles who was brought back here, or whether it was like a version of Jade literally in the afterlife.
Oh yeah, so there is no afterlife. It's just like, I mean, like, that is the afterlife. You die and like you literally go there.
To the furthest string. The outer rim.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Those frisky feet.
They are frisky. When you're hearing the squeaking, they're not playing with the toy, they're just tripping over it.
Oh my god.
Welcome to the Cats podcast.
Cat. The cat's cat. Cat. Cat.
I'm a scat man. DVD doop da da da. Jade's getting annoyed with Jade Sprite, and she ends up so she's trying to convince her to Jade Sprite wants to die, basically. She wants to go back to where she was, and so Jade's like, alright, I have a chance for you to potentially get what you want, I guess. I can't believe I'm telling you this, but so the reason that I brought you back is because you now have Beck's powers, and so does Jack. So none of us stand a chance against Jack, but you do. So, I mean, it's risky, but could you fight him to, like, save us all? And she's just like, how could you say that?
Yeah, she says there's still something worth fighting for. And then Jade Sprite says, not for me, there isn't.
Yeah. So, and it's really hard because, like, you completely, like, you empathize really hard with Jade Sprite. Like, I completely understand her reaction, and, like, but it sucks because Jade's in the moment, and Jade is like, listen, we experienced the exact same trauma, and I'm still managing to, like, you know, keep my head up and do the right thing, and I would like to think that, you know, I would in this situation, and you're me, and so you're letting me down, and, like, we are letting ourselves down here, this sucks, why won't you do this? And Jade is just boohooing, Jade Sprite is just boohooing and inconsolable, and she starts, like, shaking her by the lapels and, like, slapping her in the face, and it's tough.
Yeah.
You feel bad for them both.
Yeah, you do. And then Jade is interrupted by Karkat, who, remember, she has 7 computers on her person. So when she gets messaged, she is surrounded by bubbles of angry troll face.
She gets knocked sideways by him.
Yeah.
Karkat, however, is in rare form. He, instead of, like, shouting, you know, insults at her, he's just like, tell me what's up. And then he tells him.
He still shouts that.
He shouts it. I mean, he shouts everything, but he's like,
Yeah, so he's trying genuinely to, like, listen and empathize, and his way of doing that is to just respond to everything with, which she gets pretty annoyed at.
Understandably. But she recognizes that he's doing his best after a while. She's like, I think this is sincere. And she lets him, it's really interesting to watch this interaction play out, because what you kind of miss from sort of earlier in the comic and what we're starting to see now is, like, despite the fact that Karkat is, like, a raging little, like, ball of anger all the time, like, he's actually very, like, interpersonally, like, aware, or at least he has a really high capacity to be. Yeah. And so, like, when he's able to step back and look at things. And so they're having this conversation, and he's like, so this, he encourages her to talk, and he gets the whole situation out of her, and he's, how does this make you feel? Tell me about her feelings, tell me about your feelings, and then he's like, So it just kind of, doesn't this sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're, beating up on your past self for...
being a complete moron.
Yeah.
Isn't that something that you were, calling me out on as ridiculous? And she tries to rationalize her way out of that, but realizes that no, she's doing exactly what Karkat was doing.
Yup.
And so Karkat's kind of bizarre self-hatred becomes a bit more relatable to her. And to us.
Yeah, really. I really did feel... I mean, I even got this effect... this is, my third time reading through this bit, and it landed for me again. I was like, wow, you know what? It does kind of, you kind of understand him a little bit more when his kind of jackassery, his embarrassment about his sort of, low-grade, medium-grade jackassery, makes sense when you put it in the perspective of he's a teenager, and to him it feels like just as big of a deal as my reincarnated dead dream self is refusing to go up into this epic battle that I sort of resurrected her for, and I can't get my own self in line here, and
yeah,
these kids are having a weird time.
They are.
It's also worth... So, okay, Alex, did you notice the word fuck-ass?
No.
Okay. So that's funny. I would have thought that if there was going to be one of the biggest, spoilers that you would have seen is the use of the word fuck-ass as, an insult.
I mean, maybe I have, but it just didn't didn't scan as related. Because it's just a word.
It is just a word. Well, so is Gigas.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing intrinsic in that would, connect it with Homestuck. It's not like Matriorb.
I mean, what about Matriorb connects it with Homestuck?
Just I just mean the
portmanteau quality.
Yeah. It's hussy-esque.
It is. Whereas fuck-ass is just... Well, it's very Karkat.
I mean, yeah, it is hussy-esque, but in a more subtle way. That you have to actually know the dialogue to get.
Right.
Whereas something I'm trying to... I don't know.
I do.
Portmanteaus.
You know? Yeah. So, so fuck-ass for, if you're a longtime fan, first sighting, I'm pretty sure. I think actually maybe Jade, no, I'm pretty sure this is our first fuck-ass. I'm sort of partial to it, much as I am partial to butt-ass, which is an old insult from Questionable Content. Which, boy, are you still reading that?
No, you're very bad connection.
Oh, really? Shit.
When the call goes horribly?
Yeah.
You're fine now.
Oh, okay. Sorry. My internet gets shitty around this time of night.
Oh yeah, that's a drawback.
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't read questionable content.
You don't?
Remember? I read the first few hundred pages and then I forgot where I was and didn't care to restart.
Oh man, wait, who was I talking to that was saying oh, it's been 3 different comics by now?
Not me.
What? Who was I talking to? Oh, that's so weird then. Anyway, it's gotten really weird.
Egg 111115?
Possible.
Who else would have read it?
It's not.
Walt?
What?
No. Walt?
Ooh, maybe. Maybe.
Parsible.
Anyway, that's sort of neither here nor there. I think that's that whole Karkat and Jade conversation. Oh, so then they keep talking, and Karkat gives her this like really heartfelt apology. He's like, he finally owns up to like, he's sort of apologized like, wow, sorry, past me was such an asshole to you, and he does a couple more of those, but finally he's like, listen, I'm sorry I did this stuff. Like,
yeah, he's very like, he can't directly say I'm sorry, so he's like, I apologize on behalf of past me, who I recognize is me. I'm sorry for what he said, and he is me.
yeah.
Do you get it?
Do you get it? I am that guy. And Jade's like, yeah, you're clearly doing your best.
Yeah.
And she actually says, I'm sorry for calling you crazy for arguing with your past self. And he's like, I kind of think you're right. I kind of think it sort of points to, I don't know, it is sort of a not a terribly well-adjusted thing to do, to be at odds with your past self like that.
Yeah.
And, not that I agree with necessarily with the use of the word crazy, but, 'cause that's sort of loaded for a lot of people, but, yeah, it's definitely like not, it's rough. It's not a great way of dealing with the world, and you, sorry, my cats are fighting over food right now, and it's distracting.
Oh, no.
They shouldn't be doing it. Max is a shithead, and I don't know how to make him less of a shithead. He's a cat. Like, he doesn't know any better.
He's a teenager.
He's being such a dick. It used to be that, like, he would just bump Phoebe off of one bowl, and she'd go eat out of another, but these days, like, he'll just keep chasing her off of her food. It's more about, like, Phoebe may not eat if I'm not, like, Phoebe can't eat, and instead of, like, I want to eat. And, like, she has to, like, keep her head on a swivel while she's eating, and, like, he's gone from, like, just bumping his head in to, like, pouncing on her.
That's so messed up.
It's really bad. I really think I need to start putting him in the bathroom when they eat.
But he'll scream, right?
I mean, he'll cry, but, like, he can suck it up. Like, I just need to make sure she gets enough to eat.
Yeah.
Like, she's not starving, but she's just, like, anxious and not really eating quite enough, and that's not good for her.
Yeah, she doesn't deserve that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
But he's a cat, and he doesn't realize he's being a dickhead. So, like, I feel bad. Like, you can't get mad at him.
He's also, like, abusing his mom.
I know, right?
Like, come on, Max.
Yeah. This lady, like, fed you.
Of her own teat.
Yeah. She's got, like, messed up nipples because of it.
Oh, no!
You can tell.
Max.
And they're all, like... He used to try, when I first had them, he used to try and nurse from her, too. And she'd, like, this is off the record, obviously, but, like, he used to try and nurse from her. And, like, it'd be really cute, like, they'd be cuddling, and then he'd start, like, nosing at her stomach. And then she'd realize what he was trying to do, and she'd kick the shit out of him.
Oh, my God.
She's like, you are 7 months old. There will be none of that shit.
Oh, my God. I love them.
Yeah, they're... Cats are... Nobody warned me that... I think it's the indoor thing. Like, indoor cats are fucking crazy. Like, they're nuts. In a way that, like, outdoor cats, like, they shake all their sillies out.
Yeah.
Anyway, Homestuck. Holy shit, it's almost 7 o'clock. We gotta do this.
We gotta.
So... You go.
So Karkat is losing track of where all his teammates are from his point of view in the end of his session with the countdown to something happening. And he says that there's more going on with the scratch than we know about so far.
Right. But he doesn't actually know anything either. He's just going along. And Jade, in fact, in the future, is actually orchestrating kind of everything, and even was the one that told him to contact herself in the past.
Yeah. And she... Well, that's because future Jade instituted a no memos policy.
Right.
Which is good leadership. I think, because the memos are not very good.
Yeah, they
well
never
used.
don't break down into a shit show.
And that's usually Karkat's fault, but no one else helps.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so Jade in the future has told Karkat to tell Jade here to shut off the fourth wall.
Get it?
And then she needs to draw it to like capsulog it.
Right. So in this case,
and-
it's not literally a fourth wall. It's a fenestrated panel.
Right.
And-
It's the viewport.
Yeah.
And it's right now it's like flashing blue. Like it looks like a rewinding VHS like blue flashing thing.
Mm-hmm.
But that's actually the inside of Lord English's coat, which Hussey has draped over the other side of the viewport.
Not that Jade knows this, but
Right.
But Jade listens to Karkat, and she shuts off the panel, and then we hard cut. I can't figure out if this is meant to say like this is where it points to. I don't think it is that this is where it points to, but we hard cut to a turned off display in WV's station.
Yeah. And he, remember, is stuck inside there waiting for his uranium to digest. And he's torn off the wall panels inside to make himself a little fort.
Right, because there's nothing much else for him to do, so he feels cozy. But Serenity decides that something needs to be done, and there's a tiny crack under the door, and so she flies out to go get some help.
Yeah, Serenity being the little firefly who communicates in Morse code.
Mm-hmm.
And is WV's pal.
Yeah.
So outside of the station, WQ, Windswept Questant, is telling PM, Prospition Monarch now, that she needs to wait for her fourth and final subject to arrive. And this subject is currently in a Lotus time capsule beneath the temple.
Waiting, yeah.
Waiting for another 4 hours, 13 minutes. And the Frog Temple, we're told, shares the visage of the speaker of the Vast Croak. Or Vast Croaks.
I think it's just the one.
Yeah, I think it might have been a typo in this panel, or I might have just, like, seen a K as an X.
Yeah. It just looks a lot more epic that way.
Yeah. And so we get a sneak peek of this subject, and it is the Writ Keeper, who is White King after the monarchy has been deposed.
Mm-hmm.
And he is adorably doofy, and he's reading an etiquette book.
No, he's not reading an etiquette book. He's reading The Complacency of the Learned, which is Rose's wizard fic.
I totally thought that Complacency of the Learned was like an etiquette book title.
That's really funny. No, it's Rose's wizard fic from like way back in like Act 1 or Act 2.
Act 1.
Yeah.
Or no, it was John reading it off her laptop.
Right.
But maybe it was introduced before that. Anyway, PM is pretty overwhelmed by this duty she's being told of. And she is supposed to bring Jack to justice and rebuild the kingdom. But
the queen is like, it's very simple, really.
Yeah.
You just have to take down Jack and rebuild Prospect.
Right. But she's going to have help. And one of her helps will be the Wastelandic Vindicator with his trusty ring.
Mm-hmm.
And we see WQ still holding his treasure that he does not understand. And she'll need an armaments regent. And we see AR eager to help his new queen. And he sets up all the stations to explode, which WQ says needs to happen right now.
Mm-hmm.
Including the one that WV is trapped in.
Which, for some reason, nobody realizes? I don't know. Serenity's there trying to blink to them in Morse code that something's wrong, but nobody's paying attention.
Yeah. And WV falls asleep.
Right. Completely unaware that any of this is happening.
Outside, yeah. And he dreams and sees himself on the battlefield. And it's unclear here whether this is just like an actual dream, like a normal-ass real-world dream, or if there's an actual WV dream self.
I think that this is a regular dream.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still like a prophetic dream.
Yes,
but it's not like it's not physically happening somewhere else.
Right. I think that what are they called? Carapace people don't have dream selves.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this entire sequence is subtitled with Morse code.
Right, which you have to Google, Morse code translator and then plunk it in order to read, which is just the most fucking homestuck shit.
Yeah, it was grade A quality vintage bullshit.
Yeah, it goes on for like 10 pages. You have to translate a lot of shit.
It's a lot. And the annoying thing was, like, there's a lot of exclamation points and question marks.
Right.
Which if you put those into... Oh my god.
Kids, you okay? What are you doing? They're trying to climb up on top of my air conditioner, which is, like, dicey at best. Causing problems.
Anyway, the formatting kept making me have to, like, scroll through the stuff to make it legible to the translator.
Mm-hmm.
It's annoying. But, so, we see WV, as as the mayor of, what is it, Cantown?
Townsville. No, it is Cantown.
Cantown. With a monocle and everything.
He wakes up and he's got his little monocle that he's got to put in.
But basically this is, I don't know, like, should I read all the Morse code?
Yes, because it's funny once you get what's happening.
Right. So, it starts out, what a daring dream, to combine the finest qualities of humanity with the elegance and nobility of the animal kingdom. How you wish you could know their world. To hear one night those muted paw pads traipse up your stairs. A low but friendly growl unsettles your slumber, and as the sopper seeps from your eyes, they detect a sharp pair of ears cutting moonlight. A mysterious woven tongue invites, wouldn't these ears suit you? Would not this proud long snout assist you in the hunt? What's funny about that?
Okay, so if you remember, this is a lot funnier if you're reading this over the span of like a month instead of like 2 years. But this was the text that Jade, that just shows up in the narration, I guess, as they're talking about Jade's preoccupation with anthropomorphic animals.
Okay.
Not that she's a furry. They're very emphatic, but she's a furry. Just not, like, the sex kind, but, like, she's totally a furry. She's, like, obsessed with, like, wolf people. And cat people.
Well, good news. She is one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So this, like, dreamlike, nightmarish version of Bec Noir, which is, like, a quadruped shadow wolf, sneaks into, or, like, what's a good verb?
Slinks.
Slinks into WV's bedroom and stares him down and prototypes him.
Somehow. And yet, so I think what's really happening here is that, like, it's sort of dream logic, right? So Jack comes and visits WV, and WV wakes up, and then suddenly, like, he's prototyped, but really, like, he's Jack. And so what you're seeing is you're seeing how Jack, like, laid waste to Skaya, and he's, like, killing all of these Carapace people. He's killing all the people who rose up alongside WV.
Right, yeah, so that's what's happening, is, like, yeah, WV, prototype WV in the dream, goes out to the field where there's, like, the combined armies of black and white resistance who tried to overthrow Jack, and now it's WV in Jack's place, like, helplessly watching as he destroys them with red miles, which is like rivers of blood. Which, remember, that's what happened to the battleground.
Mm-hmm.
Because Jack did that.
Yeah, so he has to watch all of that happen and feel like he's doing it, which is not the most fun for him. But then, so in the dream, he does this, and then a weird bug flutters up.
Yeah, and they didn't even say that he didn't even need it.
What do you mean?
Like, you eat a weird bug.
Oh, yeah. You eat a weird bug and don't even care.
And it's Vriska as a little firefly.
Yeah, she's got her little flappy wingies.
Yeah. Cute. And definitely not sinister.
No, not at all.
So, in Morse code, she says, "Hey you, just what do you think you're planning on doing with that ring? Whatever it is, forget it. The Slayer is mine. Now wake up." I said, wait, 8.
Meanwhile, we get a little pan over to Vriska, who is sleeping and presumably interacting in this dream somehow via dream. She's very happy with how this is going. Then there's a flash.
Right, so...
What?
So we just want to, to clarify, WQ
Yeah.
is explaining that WV's role is to use the ring to defeat Jack, because that'll give him all of the prototype powers.
Right. Not that WV knows anything about this yet.
Right. And then Vriska is interfering with that from another session, which isn't supposed to happen, and saying, no, this, he's mine. Like, you can't do that. You're not allowed to fulfill your role in the game.
That boy is mine.
That boy is mine.
Anyway, so then there's a good flash.
There's a flash, and it's Megalovania.
Is it? Is that song famous in its own right?
It's the song that Toby Fox. It's his signature song.
Oh.
That he used first for an Earthbound ROM hack he made.
Oh.
Which is it was his first project. It was this alternate version of Earthbound where there's a different final boss or something, and that's the song that he used. And it means that he basically programmed the song into an SNES cartridge.
Wow.
Yeah, and that was the first version, and then he used it here again, and then he used it again as the final bad run boss in Undertale.
Oh.
But it's it's a cool song.
It is pretty cool. I liked it. It's a little repetitive, but it doesn't bother you. It's a repetitive to great effect.
You should listen to the Undertale version then, because it's a better mix.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like a MIDI file, like all the Homestuck music does.
Yeah. Oh man, I want so much to like the Homestuck music, but it's
it's 16-bit or something.
It's probably
bitrate,
I mean, it's just I don't think it's even particularly low bitrate. I mean, a lot of it is chiptune and not super high res chiptune or whatever. It really is 8-bit or whatever, and not in a charming analog way, or charming early digital way, whatever.
Yeah.
But then a lot of it is just it's low quality synths and stuff, and you can't fault anybody because they're all just artists starting out and stuff. But
yeah,
or not. Sorry, I don't want to imply that it's all artists starting out, but it's just a lot of people who choose to focus on composition rather than trying to get really high end sound packs a lot of the time. And
yeah, and it's more about the melodies than the quality of music, or not quality,
the timbre and texture and stuff that.
Timbre and texture.
Yeah.
You're the band kid here.
Yes.
You should be talking about this.
It's all really it's very very Homestuck music is honestly some really high end composition and stuff. It's just a lot of
Honestly.
the sonic texture personally
honestly.
leaves me wanting. But
You said honestly, but there's an S at the beginning. You said sonestly, and that's cool.
whoa,
Like, sonnet, like, damn.
whoa.
Damn. Yeah, so to this epic track for Cools, I don't know where I was going with that sentence fragment. We see Bec Noir cut Dream Pfeffery in half, just kind of out of the blue.
Yeah.
And then we see that he's on Prospit, and he stabs Dream Nepeta several times and leaves her dying on the floor. Or did I say Prospit? I meant Durst, because he explodes Durst.
Yeah, but he takes the time to like stab a couple people first, and then just blows up the planet they're on anyway.
Yeah. And this somehow, either this activates Dream Iradia, or she is activated at the same time.
Right.
And she's in this big red bubble somewhere, like in the outer rim.
No, she's not. Ready? Here's what's going on. She
Ready?
is...
Like,
what?
okay.
She's on her quest bed inside of Durst.
Uh,
That's why she goes God tier as soon as she dies, because she just died on her quest bed.
but, wait, is that... But her dream self died.
Yeah.
But doesn't the dream self... Isn't that the one that goes God tier when the other one dies?
I mean, but she doesn't have an extra self. She's a robot right now.
But
so I think maybe what's happening is that, okay, maybe this is happening in the Outer Rim. Although I'm a little confused as to why her quest bed would be out there. But I think it could be because Iradia Bot blows up. And so her dream self.
Yeah. So, like, Iradia Bot blows up, which is, like, her...
Hang on a second. I have to fact check this, because this is a very important detail, actually.
No, what it is Iradia Bot exploding is her dying.
Right. I'm pretty sure the events are supposed to be simultaneous, but I don't know which one is causal. I'm looking it up right now. Feel free to edit this time out. Biography. Fetch modus. Role-playing. Hive bent. Post-hive bent.
Because the thing is, her explosion happens after Durst explodes, because it's after Karkat wakes up.
Wait. I'm reading.
Bot explosion, I'm sorry.
Okay. So it is, I'm right. So it's Jack destroying Durst, where her dream self is on her quest bed, which draws her soul out of her soul bot and brings her back to life. God tier.
Brings her flesh body back
her
to life?
dream self gets resuscitated.
So her dream self dies and then
comes back.
Comes back?
Yep. Yeah, because if you remember, even when people go God tier, like when Vriska goes God tier, her dream self dies first. Like you can see her dream self bleeding out as she's trying to manipulate Tavros.
You're right.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad we sorted that one out.
So wait, does she go God tier in the Outer Rim?
Nope, she's right. So Jack is there with her. They're just they're floating in space now because they're near the Outer Rim. Because Durst is way out there anyway. And then Jack is there because he just blew it up. Because
what confused me was, there's the silhouettes of elder gods behind her.
Right. And that's the whole thing, is that Durst is sort of bordering on, you can see the elder gods from there.
I love that I, got you into saying Outer Rim and elder gods. Because at least one of those is not correct.
Oh, it's the furthest ring, and it is the furthest ring, and
Yeah.
I think the official word in universe is horror terrors.
But they also are called the old gods.
Or
something.
I think they're just the gods.
No, I don't think so.
Well, so who are the new gods?
Well, it doesn't matter because the old ones are objectively old.
That's true. It's just a objective chronology. They've been there this whole time. Not that time means
Fair.
anything.
Old as balls. True. Well, they live outside of the
Conventional
universes.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
So
paradox space.
right, so they aren't affected by the time not meaning anything.
Right. So they could just equally be the baby gods.
That's true. They might experience time linearly, but they're surrounded by things that aren't linear. Anyway, so but before her robot body explodes. Oh no, never mind. Because we saw that already. We saw her hug Solix already.
Yeah.
That was last week. So yeah, she explodes and then is reborn, and she's like smiling and like alive, and her horns are glowing because she's magic.
Mm-hmm.
And she has some kind of gear power. Like it seems like a time, like a clock gears.
Yeah, it's time.
Because what she does is she freezes Jack, Beck, Noir, in time as he's about to destroy her, kill her.
Yeah. It's very cool, you guys. We're not doing it justice. It's like, because Aradia, we know her as, like, you have all this background on her, you know. She seems like she would have been such a cool girl, but we've only known her since she's been dead. Like, she was a ghost for a while.
Right, and, like, the one moment we saw of her alive in a flashback was right before she died. And, like, the most striking image from that was her huge smile when she saw Solith coming.
Yeah.
And now we see her huge smile again when she is, like, alive again.
She really does. Man, like, the art in this comic is sometimes, like, just so good. Like, she really is. She's, like, beaming, and she looks like, she feels, like, so, like, powerful, and, like, not in a, like, vindictive way either. It's just, like...
Yeah.
Like, she's just so, like, happy to be alive and, like, out here, and, like, she's sort of, like, definitely learned a lot and seen a lot through the process of, like, being dead and 1,000 robots all at once, and, like, all of these experiences that she's had.
Dead and 1,000 robots all at once.
Yeah, and then dying as 999 robots. Like, it's a hell of a lot to have gone through, and she just looks like, oh man, I love Aradia. She's so good.
I can't wait to learn more about Ariana Grande. Oh my god.
What?
Have you seen Ariana Grande is like a playable character in a Final Fantasy game?
What?
This iPad game that's like Final Fantasy like Heroes or whatever, like not an actual game, but just like, oh, this is Final Fantasy branded.
Okay.
Like Exeus, but it's just like her in her like bunny suit, which I guess is like her tour outfit. It's like a black leather bunny suit.
Okay.
But it's like the summons are like Behemoth, like Cthulhu, Ariana Grande.
Ariana Grande is the new face of Final Fantasy, Brave Exvius.
That's it.
I'm looking at the photos.
It's ridiculous.
It's just a little pixel art of her in her little bunny dress and a bunny hat.
It's a hood.
Bunny hood.
It's very BDSM.
Yeah, it really is. And she's a little game. She looks like a Gaia Online avatar.
Oh man.
What?
I never Gaia'd online.
You missed that?
Yeah.
Oh man.
I was a RuneScape kid.
Oh. There are two kinds of people. Now I'm just looking at pictures of Ariana Grande. This is a problem. Okay, so I think that's everything that happens in that. I think so Aradia freezes. This is important. So Aradia freezes Jack, and then we see God tier Vriska facing off with Tavros.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite clear who provoked who first, but it's certainly going down now.
Well, it's Tavros is like, I think you're bad, and I'm gonna have to stop you.
Mm-hmm.
And Vriska's like, okay, come get me. Like, I'll give you a fair shot.
Right.
And then we see her not do that, because as he's charging her, she just grabs his lance from his hand and guts him with it. And sends him tumbling off a broken platform.
Yep.
And that's the end of the Flash. And then the next page is her falling towards a very morose Terezi, who's just kind of contemplating, stewing.
Right. Over what she saw. She just saw Dave dead. And
Right, yeah.
And now her other friend's dead body falls down from above next to her by surprise.
Yes.
There's a moment in the Flash where Tavros holds something up and does the, like, throat cutting motion.
Yeah, he comes at her with like a grin.
Yeah.
And what does she do? Like, yeah,
she
he's
holds
like,
up. He's got something, and he like holds it up. Like, oh, I have this on you, and he like does the like throat slit motion, like challenging her, and she's like gives him this like shit eating grin and holds up his severed legs,
right,
and like does like a thumbs down,
right,
and then just immediately just like runs him through with his own lance.
which like she had those handy, like she was just carting them around. God.
Right?
Oh man, did she like capture log them? Is there like a code for Tavros's legs?
Apparently. It's amazing what you can record in hexadecimal in the Homestuck universe.
A code for everything, and everything for a code. So he's dead. D-E-D, dead.
Mm-hmm. But we don't get to see Terezi's reaction, because we're busy watching Kanaya watch Rose, but not understand anything about it. Did you tell me Atta Girl?
No, I said be the other girl.
Oh.
So, hold on, what's going on here? Right, so Kanaya is watching this moment. Oh no, sorry. Wait.
Yep, Kanaya is checking in on Rose, and she sees this moment that she just can't explain. Like, Rose is holding a black orb and a white orb, like her magic 8-ball and her magic cue ball, and she's got like all of these different consorts around her, and like some weird stuff's going down.
And she just like inexplicably fades to black, and Kanaya can't access her further in the timeline at all.
Yeah. Everybody else is still viewable, but Rose has just disappeared.
Yeah, so something happens in this moment, but it seems completely innocuous.
Mm-hmm.
So Kanaya decides to go to Jade for some answers about Rose. But Jade is not answering right away. She's being cagey.
Specifically, she just goes, Kanaya just says something to the effect of, like, I need to talk to you about something, and Jade goes, password?
Right. So she says she's giving out passwords, because this is future Jade, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got her shit together, time-wise, and is giving out passwords to Karkat and Kanaya, at least, to make sure that the conversations are linear. She's smart.
Jade is smart.
She's a sharp cookie.
Yeah, she was late to the game here, but now that she's, like, really properly in it, she's, like, on top of it.
Man. Yeah, so, meanwhile, in the past, Jade is rocketing to the top of her home, which has grown very tall.
Yes.
Rocket booting. And Kanaya goes to talk to her at this point. And decides to give her advice as a fellow sylph. Jade is the sylph of space, and Kanaya is the sylph of eggs.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna check. I need to double check you on that. What page is that?
5205.
Hang on a second, because this is also important.
And a sylph is a wizard but magical. Or a witch but magic.
A witch but more magical, yeah.
Yeah. A magic witch?
Witch of spacey stuff you were telling me about. So Kanaya is telling her how to be a witch of space. And
Sylph of space.
she's telling her how to be a witch of space because Jade is the witch of space. Kanaya was the sylph of space.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So that's, yeah. So they're not, like, exactly the same role, but Kanaya can still help her a bit.
Mm-hmm. They still have the same job.
Right, and they're both the forge stokers.
Right.
And they're both in charge of breeding duties. Which Jade kind of, like, is like, hold on, wait a second. What's that last one?
Yeah. So Kanaya explains, so first she explains kind of what her deal is, which is, well, she explains, like, how to set up the cloning equipment and stuff, and which Dave is helping her with. And, then Kanaya's talking about, her own deal, and she is the guardian of the matriorb, which is basically an egg for a mother grub. Yeah,
it's like it's the one with all the different troll horns coming out of it, because it's a gross incest slurry. And so when Kanaya explains this breeding life cycle to Jade, Jade's like, okay, that's kind of like insects. And Kanaya's like, sure, yeah, like humans are kind of like muscle beasts. Which is fair play.
Xenobiology.
Yeah.
Oh, so Kanaya explains how she found... So she had it locked up in a CAPTCHA card, and it required a key. And she found the key for it. Remember, that's her chastity modus, and the key to her objects, like, presents itself when it's needed. And so she found the key while puttering around on the meteor. And so she's decided, because she can no longer... Like, she's been cut off from the universe that they created. Instead, she's just going to hatch the mother grub on the meteor. And she's not sure she can do it, but she has to try. And Jade is like, "No, I'm sure you can do it. It's your family legacy because she was raised by a mother grub."
Right, and yeah, it's really sweet. Like Kanaya's doubting herself. Like, I don't know if I can actually do this. Like, raise a mother grub. That's ridiculous. And Jade's like, "Wasn't your Lucis a mother grub?" And Kanaya's like, "Yeah, she raised me from birth." And Jade's like, well, you just can do the inverse. It's your family legacy. And Kanaya's like, actually, really like, oh, thanks. In her completely deadpan way.
Her completely deadpan, yet totally, like, open way.
Kanaya is really interesting to read. Because she's, like, she has a handle on the human sarcasm. The human emotion called sarcasm. Mm-hmm. But that's largely because her typing quirk is to be completely deadpan. Like, capitalized, every word is capitalized with no punctuation. And it just comes off as, like, very deadpan.
Right, but not in a jaded way.
Jaded?
Get it? Because she's Jade Green. But she does not seem in the least bit jaded. She feels very, like, maternal. She's like she's the least pretentious character in Homestuck, probably. Where, like, she's just as unpretentious as John or Jade.
Sure.
You know?
I was gonna say.
Where there's just, like, zero affectation. She's
but
like,
lots
really
of affection.
Huh?
But lots of affection.
Yeah. So they're having this really sweet, like, friendly conversation and, like, realizing they have a lot in common and stuff, like how they both woke up on Prospit when they were really young, so they both have this, like, lifelong experience of seeing things in their dreams. Sorry, this is coming from a little later, but it doesn't really matter when it comes up, so I just want to mention it now. Mm-hmm. And Kanaya actually says, like, that the reason that she woke up on Prospit when she was so young was that because Doc Scratch approached her when she was, like, a young child, awake in the equivalent of the middle of the night for trolls, which is the middle of the day, because she's, you know, spooky goth girl or whatever, and like, you know, told her about it, somehow got her to wake up.
Oh man, I just realized that Vriska's like god tier symbol, the sun, is super goth.
Yeah, right? But yeah, so as they're having this sort of charming conversation, Dave is deploying all of the cloning stuff way up on the top of the tower because he needs to be above the planet's like cold atmosphere. I don't know, whatever.
Right, yeah, so it's like the cloning stuff it has to be in a temperature range to work.
Mm-hmm.
And since it's the snow planet, they have to go above the atmosphere. And it turns out that the medium, the interstellar or interplanetary void, is actually kind of nice and warm. And also apparently full of air.
Whatever.
Like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
They
it.
can breathe.
But so he puts out the cloning apparatus, and Jade is like, it's small. Why is it so small?
Yeah, it's actually a really funny visual gag because, like, when he's dragging it out of the menu, it's just like zoomed in, and it looks like, and you have seen it before. It looked like it's big machinery.
Yeah.
And then the next panel is just like Jade standing beside it, and it's like waist high. And Jade's like, "How is a baby gonna fit on that?" And Kanaya's like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "You're breeding," and Jade's like, "What am I breeding? Frogs." Sorry, I thought that was obvious. Or sorry, I thought that was obvious.
In case you couldn't tell at home, that was Alex reading Kanaya's pronunciation on every word. Just so you know.
Right, every word is emphasized.
Dave is supposedly... Hussey makes a little bit of a joke about the fact that he's not bothering to write any of Dave's dialogue for this section, and he just has Jade laugh at something and then say, I'm just laughing at Dave being really funny about all this stuff, and she just sends a text file of it to Kanaya, who's like, you know, you're right, that is pretty funny.
Yeah, which we see none of.
Yeah.
Like, we're just, like... And Kanaya's like, I am laughing pretty hard.
Use your imagination.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, it's funny.
Mm-hmm.
So Jade has to purify some frogs. And these frogs are all trapped in ice on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
But she's supposed to stoke the forge first, because that changes the planet. It's gonna melt the ice here, obviously, and on Kanaya's planet, it changed the planet as well. I think her planet was a water planet, and it evaporated the water, or we assume that it evaporated the water.
Right.
But yeah, so she purifies a frog and does so successfully, and the frogsicle is there, but she's supposed to get the slime imprint, not the frog. So she needs to find one that she will be sure to later interfere with in order to paradoxify it here and not be able to bring it. Don't worry about it.
Right, she has to pinpoint it somewhere that she will later make sure that it isn't. So it's sort of like, it doesn't really change anything as soon as she has the intent of going and getting it later, as long as we just assume that she's going to follow through on it. And Kanaya points out that, like, you know, this is going to be really difficult and it takes a really long time. I really don't think you have time to do it. You'd have to use all of these, like, stable time loops, like, stacked on top of each other, and that seems really reckless and dangerous. I wouldn't recommend it to anyone, so, of course, that's exactly what Jade is planning on doing with Dave's help.
Yeah, she's like, I'll just try it out a bit. You know, like, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's fine.
Jade. Remember, that's how dead Daves pile up.
That's how Giles... what?
The Genesis frog.
So she gets tadpole from this ghost slime. And Kanaya explains that she is trying to precisely mutate a baby frog to create the perfect frog, who will be the Genesis frog.
The Genesis frog.
And Kanaya explains that the Genesis frog is a unique frog in each session, and it is the being that is worshipped by Prospit and the consorts and reviled by Dirce, which explains the illegal frog imagery.
Mm-hmm. And how it also explains why the Black Queen gave up her ring, because she was so horrified that a frog had been prototyped.
Right.
Way back when.
But yeah, so this frog is the... So this is kind of confusing.
Okay.
So, well, first of all, so the frogs are given, like, demeaning names by the Dircians.
Yeah.
Like the speaker of the great joke instead of the great croak.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha. Which I've definitely heard that before. Speaker of the great joke.
The
I
vast
think that
joke.
might be like the vast joke, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's been... Yeah, they've been sort of alluding to this in various...
You know what? It sounds like infinite jest is what it is.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, but one of the names that the trolls kind of like latched onto and just decided to name their frog was Bilious Slick.
Not good. So good.
Sorry? It's a good name.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like Spades Slick, right? Spades.
Maybe? I don't know. I kind of think it's just goofy. Maybe it's meant to evoke Spades Slick.
I mean, it seems like they must be there must be a reason that they have the same last name.
I can't talk about it.
All right.
I can't talk about it either way. It's not... I can tell you it's actually not really important that their names are similar. Which seems really weird, right? Because it's Homestuck.
Yeah.
You think.
So Jade's like, so what? Do you let this frog loose in the new universe you create, and he like fills it with life and planets, and Kanaya's like, no, he is the new universe.
Yep.
Like the universe is the fabric of a frog.
Mm-hmm.
Which, sure.
Don't worry about it.
But what's confusing to me is she says he's not the universe the humans are from. He's the one they're trying to create.
Mm-hmm.
But that seems to mean to me that the humans are trying to create the one that Kanaya already created.
What do you mean?
But it's supposed... Like, Bilious Slick
Yeah.
is the one that Kanaya created.
Well, yeah, that's what they decided to name it. And so it's a unique frog each time. So their unique frog turned it out to be the humans' universe. The humans are creating a new frog that's going to be some other universe.
Right, but okay, maybe it was just the wording that confused me. Because it seemed to me that
she was
Kanaya
still talking about Bilious Slick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I think the reason that she's doing that is that Jade says, like, oh, we'll probably name him that, too.
Okay.
Yeah. You're right. It is confusing if you don't know to, like, expect that that's... I, like, already know this, so, like, I didn't even really try to parse it. But, yeah, it is sort of mind-boggling the first time you read it. Like, wait. Frog?
I mean,
Not in a jaw-dropping way, just in a, like, wait, what?
Yeah. It just kind of, like... It's not like it is... Yeah, it's not mind-blowing. It's just like, hold on, I gotta, like, get the logistics of this right.
Yeah. You do a little bit of a double take.
Yeah. Or, like, a quarter take. Like, just kind of tilt your head a bit. And that's the reading.
That's it.
Good grief.
So, yep. So Jade is about to create a new universe via frogs.
Yes.
and presumably light up a volcano. Hopefully, WV is about to get rescued out of his station. Also, the White King is going to emerge from a time capsule in the ruins there. PM is still the new queen. What else? Jade Sprite has mysteriously disappeared. Jade has captulogged, she has drawn a picture of the fourth wall. Karkat made up with Jade. And Rose is about to go dark. And Kanaya is very worried about it. I think that covers just about all of it. Oh, and Aradia just went god tier and froze Jack in time. And Vriska killed Tavros.
Again. Or no, I guess for the first time.
Yeah.
She succeeded.
Yeah, Tavros sort of indirectly killed her last time.
Right. Man, those kids and their silly rivalry.
Those teens and their murders.
Her.
Hey, do we have listener questions this week?
We have one.
Hooray, thank you!
From Heavenly Evan on Tumblr.
Hi, thanks.
And it's fun. It's got any Hogwarts house headcanons for the main kids.
Oh, God.
Alright, so I feel like the four humans have to, like, canonically correspond to the four houses.
Yeah?
Like, I feel like that's just, like, the way it shakes out.
Mm-hmm.
With their, like, 4 quadrants of personality.
Yeah.
Where John is obviously Gryffindor.
Yeah.
Rose is either Ravenclaw or Slytherin.
I think Rose has to be Ravenclaw, because Dave is Slytherin.
Rose is more, like, Slytherin themed.
Yeah.
But she, like, the Hoarding Sat, really had to, like, deliberate on her.
Yeah. But in personality, at the end of the day, she's a Ravenclaw, because she's all about knowledge.
Yeah. And Dave, like, only fits in Slytherin.
Yeah, pretty much.
The thing is that, like, he isn't, like, as outwardly ambitious as Rose.
Right.
Where Rose has this, like, huge dark ambition.
Yeah.
And then Jade is Hufflepuff.
Of course.
But I want to talk about the trolls.
Oh, gosh, okay.
We can just sort, like, the genocide ones into Slytherin off the bat.
Okay, is there really only the one genocide one? Oh, no, there's 2. I guess Vriska is sort of a genocide troll.
Yeah, and, like, Equius is, like, genocide adjacent.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he totally
Remember
is.
him?
Yeah, so they all go in Slytherin. So we're gonna have to put 3 of them per house.
Yeah, I don't know if they all, like... I mean, I feel like in the color wheel of personalities as dictated by the stars as personalities are in real life, there's got to be, like, quadrants that correspond to the IMDb typings.
Oh, yeah.
Of, you know, EMSP and IMDb.
Anyway, y'all following so far?
So
the Blue Bloods are Slytherin. So Equius, Vriska, Aridin. Gryffindor.
Oh yeah,
huh?
that is completely it. Yeah. Those 3 are already grouped together.
Yeah.
Gryffindors would be Red Bloods.
Yeah, I think so. So Karkat, Pfeffery,
Aradia,
and Aradia. Sure.
Yeah, totally.
I think that probably
Solix is Ravenclaw. He's yellow, right?
Yeah, he's yellow. Where does Nepeta go?
Nepeta, she's got to be Hufflepuff.
Yeah. I kind of feel like Aradia is actually...
Hufflepuff?
No, I kind of feel like Aradia is Ravenclaw.
Aradia and Claw?
Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who are we left
I don't
with?
know enough about her.
Tavros, I guess, is Hufflepuff.
Tavros is Hufflepuff.
He's
Gamzee.
Hufflepuff.
I feel like I can't say anything about Gamzee anymore because I just don't know.
Like, what the fuck his deal is?
Yeah, like I thought I had him sussed out.
Yeah.
But you can't suss out Gamzee. too wacky.
We could do them by process of elimination.
Yeah, but you have to remember the ones we've already said.
I'm typing it right now. We know that Slytherin is going to be Aridin and Vriska, and you can edit out the part where I'm actually typing it.
Equius.
And Equius. And then we've decided that Gryffindor is going to be who?
Karkat.
Yeah.
Pfeffery?
Mm-hmm.
Is Pfeffery... I guess so.
What?
I mean, I don't know enough about Pfeffery, I guess.
Okay. Well, let's say Karkat and Aradia for now. So then Ravenclaw is going to be
Solix
for sure. And then Hufflepuff is going to be Tavros and Nepeta for sure.
Yeah.
So then we've still got... Oh, Kanaya, who I think is...
Kanaya would be Ravenclaw.
I think so, yeah.
Anyone else?
There's gotta be 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 3 left.
Okay, Gamzee.
We've got...
Let's put him aside.
And... Who are we forgetting? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh, Terezi.
10. Oh, yeah. Who is definitely firmly a Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
100%.
And then one more.
So that's... Alright, so we've got 2 more left. How are we gonna put them? I think these 2 are just impossible to categorize.
Wait, who do we have left?
These 2. Gamzee and Pfeffery.
Oh, I'm not looking at the doc, sorry.
Okay. So we said Slytherin was Aridin, Vriska, and Equius. Gryffindor is Karkat and Aradia.
I feel like we have to put them in the 2 that have 2, because that fills it out.
Sure. Alright, in that case, I do think that, I think Pfeffery is a Hufflepuff, and I think Gamzee is a Gryffindor. What do you think?
I mean, Gamzee is just a wild card.
Well, sure, but I feel like they put some real wild cards in Gryffindor.
You know what? You're right.
You know?
There you go. Yeah, that's perfect.
He could be case in point in for why, like, Gryffindor is such, like, a wild house. Like, it's not always just, like, I'm pure of heart and super brave. It's also, like, I'm completely reckless, or I'm just batshit crazy. Like,
you're right.
I want to run around honking horns all the time.
You're so right.
Thanks.
God.
What?
I just had an image of, like, what's his name?
Dan Radcliffe?
Fred and George's friend. Lee.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Fred and George's friend.
The guy with dreadlocks.
Lee Jordan.
Lee Jordan, that's it. Him. I just had this image of him with a vuvuzela.
Completely canonical.
Yeah.
Absolutely 100%. For sure.
Just, like, bringing it to, like, the dining hall.
Completely.
It's like, when the owls come in the morning, he just, like, announces it.
More like runs around, like, terrifying them. So nobody at his table can get their mail.
Do you know what's really great?
What?
Like, remembering fun moments from early Harry Potter books.
Okay.
It just like the image of Lee Jordan running around the Great Hall. Like, just thinking about that makes me just feel so warm-hearted.
Aww.
Like, it's like, I don't know, like rereading like the first few books and just like short passages of like daily life at Hogwarts.
They're all
like,
so charming, right?
Funny little things happening.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, it's a special kind of feeling.
Yeah, those books were very richly textured, I gotta say.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just that one song, like the one score from the first movie, like da 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 da.
That's really funny because I had a completely different part of the score in my head, but the same feeling carries. I'm not going to scat it on the air.
This like the kind of like the swelling strings. Na, 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 na.
Oh.
Oh man, there's so many good parts of the score, I
Yeah, it
guess.
was a really good score. Who did it?
John Williams.
Oh, that explains it.
Man. Thanks for listening to the Hamsteak Podcast.
We'll be back hopefully next week with some more Homestuck content. We're ramping up to Cascade, like for real. Like stuff's happening. So
For real.
for real. Like get excited, stay excited. You will emote how I tell you to emote. That's not true. You're free to have whatever sorts of emotions you want to have.
What are you saying?
I'm talking to myself to fill time because I need to, I'm trying to grab our reading schedule so I can say
Oh,
some
well, let me
teaser
just say,
things.
while Lydia grabs that, if you want to send us a question, you can do so at hamsteakpodcast.tumblr.com. If you want to contact us on Twitter, send an ask to hamsteakpodcast.tumblr.com, because I won't remember to check the Twitter.
Yep. You can follow us there, though. We are at Hamsteak Podcast.
Yeah. If you want to ask a spoiler potential question, do so to Lydia directly, please.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm the one who receives the questions through the Tumblr account. So I will not want to read those. And you can do so by contacting her on Twitter, at Brickchip.
It's true.
And I am on Twitter as well, at Crunchleaf. And I am on Tumblr, at LeafCrunch.
Find us. All right, you ready?
If you dare.
You ready to hear about next week?
Yeah.
So much violence. I can't even
Wow.
tell you how much violence, but there's so much violence.
Great.
And lots of intrigue. And a little bit of confusing logic vis-a-vis how death and dream selves work.
Sure.
And one on-screen kiss.
Okay. That feels very,
Typical.
yeah, not non-climactic.
Okay, but I promise it is. It totally is.
It's a big deal.
So I can't like tell you anything specific because it's all intrigue. It's gonna feel very murder mystery. Get ready.
Oh, man.
Get excited.
I'm loving this purring, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's Phoebe. She's trying to eat my headphones.
Oh,
Yeah, she loves to chew on things that taste like earwax and hand sweat.
great.
Yeah, cats are disgusting. Thanks for listening, you guys.
Thanks. Stay ham-me. John Ham.
Bye.